What's up, fellas? Happy Thursday, July 3rd. We're here. We made it to July 4th weekend, guys. How are we doing on a Thursday afternoon?
We'd be hanging.
We'd be hanging.
Afternoon. It's still morning.
It is the afternoon. Unlike what Bob Belcher Jr. says over here. Welcome to our special guest here, Drew Burton. He's a friend of the show. Brooks' best man at his wedding. Brooks was best man at Drew's wedding. Welcome to the show.
Probably going to be more of a regular.
Yeah, he's going to become a little bit more of a regular. He's going to be on here a little bit more with us. Story time with Drew, says Joe. We'll maybe get that going at some point. Brian will be late. Brian actually was on time today.
Brian was here second, by the way, out of the four. And was here at 11.
Brooks has got to be good because there's kids in the car. Yeah, I don't know about that.
We're all children, Laura. We're all children. Yep. And now he's gone.
Oh.
And there's nothing to bring him back. But anyway, let's bring the energy up. Happy freaking July 4th weekend, guys. What do you guys have planned for the weekend? Brian, that's a shirt.
Yeah, buddy. And the eyes are right around my nipples. So when I get, cold, the eyes bulge.
I like it.
Yeah.
3D shirt. Nice.
It's ridiculous.
3D shirt.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
By the way, story time with Drew is going to be terrifying throughout the duration of the time that Drew continues on this podcast.
I'm not even prepared for this. What story am I telling?
You don't have to tell a story today. We'll get story time with Drew rolling, and maybe we'll prepare you so you can have something ready.
I could talk about last night, but I'll let you keep going here.
There are kids in a car. Yeah. And also, we want to know when the lightning hit your house, if you had the flux capacitor ready with Doc Brown next to you.
I can't see Brooks at all. Are you guys having the same issue?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Brooks is mobile, so if he's hopping in and out today, sorry, guys. We're going to do our best to at least get the audio to you if the video doesn't work. So be it. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us on a Thursday morning. And congratulations to our buddy, Drew's buddy, actually, Ryan O'Hearn, starting in the All-Star game at the DH position. There was a cool video the Orioles put up yesterday of him calling his mom in the dugout, telling her that he was the starting DH. Drew, you got to meet O'Hearn the other night. How was he?
It was awesome, actually. It was selfie day at the yard for some of the Birdland members. And it was pretty cool. Like a lot of the guys came around. It's pretty much the whole team, like Gunnar, Adley, Cowser, Jackson. But most of them just shook your hand, took a quick picture. O'Hearn brought like 6 bats, a bunch of balls, and he was like giving them out to little kids, watching the kids swing and everything like that. Like he was really interactive with everyone. It was a pretty cool thing to see.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So how many people did you get selfies with?
Most of the team, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It was.
Yeah, the people we were talking to said that last year it was pretty lame. Like it was just like Zach Eflin and a couple like relief pitchers. But the first 2 that came out were was Cowser and Jackson Holiday. And they came up. We talked for 2 minutes, took a picture, and they moved on. But yeah, it was almost all the starters.
Hell yeah.
Where are you at on the field when you're doing this? Are you just like down by the?
They like rope off the warning track. So the players just kind of make a lap around and hit each person.
Selfie day. That's a cool idea. I've never heard of that. I didn't know. Yeah. So they did that last year for the first time, and then this year, I guess it took off a little bit more.
Apparently, yeah. This was our first year, but talking to some people there, I guess they pushed the players to be there a little bit more.
Hell yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have Juan Gonzalez, like I said, in and out of this podcast. If you're just joining us, Juan Gonzalez is Brooks. I know you can't see his face. It's not actually Juan Gonzalez. If it was, I think we'd probably have a lot more viewers.
Where's Brooks going, by the way?
He's going. Like they'll go to some lake every year. I don't know if it's in northern Indiana or if they leave the state. They go to some lake house every year for the 4th of July. So
that's awesome.
That's fun. Yeah, I love a good lake house. I haven't been to one in a long time, but anyway, flowers to Ryan O'Hearn. Definitely been, especially over the first couple months of the season, the most consistent Orioles bat in the lineup we've had this year. We were kind of holding out hope that Jackson Holiday might sneak in at second base. It doesn't look like that as of now. Maybe he could get in as an alternate if somebody decides to drop, which kind of happens a lot. We will see. really no other Orioles worth talking about as potential All-Star candidates. Sagano was looking like he could have been one early in the year, and obviously you guys saw the start last night. Really, his last 3 or 4 starts have been pretty bad. He's starting to get shelled a little bit, which it's going to happen. It's an adjustment period coming over from overseas, and obviously he's coming over at an older age. Do you guys think this is just kind of like the league catching up to him, or what do you guys attribute this to? Drew, we'll go to you first for the Sagano struggles.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like the league has time to adjust to someone. They probably didn't have a lot of footage over in Japan. They obviously haven't faced them, and then you get through it with advanced scouting, a couple months, and they kind of got the book on him. But I think he will recover because he's going to do the same thing. He's going to make his adjustments, and I think he'll bounce back and be a strong starter for us. But everybody goes through it.
Yeah, Brian.
I concur. I mean, it drew to the words out of my mouth. I mean,
yeah,
I hate to not have any opinion, but I'm going to say the same thing Drew said, and it's worthless. So
yeah, fair enough. I think it's pretty it's a pretty normal take. Brooks, do you have anything as a resident pitcher on the podcast on why Sagano's been struggling the last few starts?
I mean, he's fallen behind a ton of hitters. For a guy that's known for his command, I think I heard on the broadcast last night he's like at 56% strikes or something like that on the season, or first pitch strikes, which isn't great. So, I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Well, it's so much easier to pitch when you're ahead in the count, right? So if you're 0-1 as opposed to 1-0, I know that doesn't seem like a huge deal to a lot of people, but that is a huge deal to both the pitcher and the hitter. It just makes a world of difference. And if you're not throwing that first pitch strike consistently, which a lot of our pitching staff wasn't for a while, we've gotten a little bit better, but obviously Sagano has had his struggles here. When you're not doing that, it makes pitching so much harder. And then compound that with how bad our defense is. I mean, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
You love our defense, Brooksy.
I hate it so much. It's not even like I don't need you to make the spectacular plays. I just need you to make the routine plays and not give up extra bags and not get us out of double play opportunities and just stupid stuff, man. Like it just frustrates the hell out of me. And I know it has to frustrate the pitching staff.
Yeah, I'm looking at numbers just vaguely right now. And to your point, Brooks, the 0-1 versus 1-0 count, hitters historically tend to bat about 170 after the count falls to 0-1 versus 313 when the count falls to 1-0. That's a very staunch difference. I know, obviously, like Brooks said, it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it is a massive deal for sure. It's much easier. You have much more confidence as a hitter. Look, we all played baseball. Like if you get a 1-0 count or a 2-0 count, you feel a lot more confident than if you're down 0-2 and you got to protect the plate a little bit.
Well, you get to get a little bit greedier too. You can start looking for certain pitches if you want to, if that's your style. You can kind of play around a little bit more. Whereas when you're 0-1, you're a little bit more on the defensive side. And again, as a pitcher, like when your defense is playing like shit behind you, you're going to inherently pitch a little different, because if my defense is awesome behind me, then I'll put it over the plate no matter what and let my defense make the plays. But if I have no confidence in them, I'm probably going to start nibbling a little bit more.
Yeah. A little bit of frustrating series loss to the Rangers. Like Brian said before we went on air, we don't want to keep harking on the fact that the Orioles are having a rough season. It's very obvious that the Orioles are having a rough season, and we keep on saying the same things over and over again. It's just so frustrating. Win the first game after winning a series, getting some momentum, win the first game of the series against the Rangers, and then just drop 2 straight. Obviously, with DeGrom and Eovaldi on the mound, it's going to be tough. But you'd hope that the team could take one of those 2 games at the very least. I know the defense hasn't been great. The last 2 games, the bats really just didn't show up at all, which has been the problem all season. The inconsistencies at the plate. We can score 22 runs in one game and then 10 runs in the next game and then put up bagels for 2 or 3 straight games. It's really frustrating.
Frustrating.
I think that's basically all we really need to say about the Rangers series, unless you guys have anything else that you want to add, Bri.
I do have one thing. We laid down a freaking bunt for a hit.
I know, and then he tried to steal second base and got thrown out like 2 pitches later.
It is good to see Seti. I mean, probably our longest tenured Oriole at this point. Has to be, right. Like he's one of the leaders in the clubhouse. He's the one going up there trying to lay down bunts and get some movement and either bunt for a base hit. But you also see him trying to lay down bunts for to move runners over. But it's more of a bunt for a hit, but make sure you can move the runner over at the same time. So
every time the Orioles laid on a bunt, I think of Dustin and that bet you made where it was like we laid on a bunt and someone hits a double and scores them or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
You'll take like a pot to the face or something. I can't remember.
I said I would do something. I was like, if the Orioles lay down a bunt and then get the guy to second, or if we hit a double, move the guy over to third and then hit a sac fly, I was like, I'll do anything.
We actually manufacture a run.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And when it happens, all I can think of is like, please let this come to fruition. Please let this happen. And I had it with Cedric Mullins. Then he got tossed at second base. By the way, great throw by Heim.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Really good throw. Also, why was the announcer did somebody mention in our group chat the other day that the announcer was comparing his arm to Pudge Rodriguez's arm? That's an outrageous comparison, guys. That's one of the best defensive catchers in the history of baseball and one of the most feared arms in the league behind the dish.
Without a perfect throw, they don't get them. It was bang.
And a little bit maybe of a preview for our draft a little bit later.
I was thinking the same thing.
Mr. Pudge, man.
Yep.
Just letting you guys know, we are going to be doing an all-decade MLB draft after we talk a little bit of baseball here. We're going to do, I think over the series in the next couple Thursdays, we're going to do different decades. So this week is going to be 90s. Next week we'll do the 2000s, 2010s, and so on and so forth. So look out for that. Just probably in 10, 15 minutes, we'll probably get that going. Other news around the league, unless you guys have any Orioles stuff, Clayton Kershaw, 3,000 strikeout last night. Only the fourth lefty in MLB history to do that. The other three, can you guys name them?
Randy Johnson, CC Sabathia.
2 out of 3.
Walter Johnson?
Walter Johnson's right-handed, unfortunately. Drew? Brian?
Sandy Koufax?
Nah, didn't play long enough.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Played forever, mostly with the Phillies.
Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton is correct. Steve Carlton is correct.
Good one.
Yep. Steve Carlton is correct. He joins Walter Johnson and Bob Gibson as the one of the only 3 pitchers in MLB history that had all 3,000 or more strikeouts, all for one team. Just one of the best, one of the very best pitchers of our generation, and just a pleasure to watch pitch. What did you guys? Do you guys have any just like stories on Kershaw or thoughts on Kershaw and his looking back on his career? Obviously, the guy's excellent. You can give him all the flowers you want, but any just thoughts on him in general? All right.
Nope.
Fuck Kershaw.
No thoughts.
What a loser.
You got to give him a lot of. You got to give him his flowers. Like he struggled there for a while. Am I echoing to you guys?
Yeah, you just started though.
All right. But you got to give him his flowers here a little bit, just because there's so long there where you just felt like he was that guy who just couldn't do it in the playoffs and got shelled every time he was in there. Everybody said he didn't have the club. Finally kind of brew, and that quieted up a little bit. Yeah. So, like you said, Dusty, it's one of the best pitchers we've seen since we've been alive. So it's pretty cool to see. Yeah, it's cool to see him spend his whole career there in LA as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like dominant pitchers for the Dodgers before Clayton Kershaw came around, and I'm drawing a blank. Brad Penny?
Eric Gagne.
Gagne, yeah. Relief pitcher, I guess.
Cy Young
I'm
winner.
sure there's – oh, yeah, that's true. He's a Cy Young winner. He probably deserved it, too. Although there's an at-bat of him versus Barry Bonds that I watch very frequently, where Barry Bonds hits like 3 straight home runs foul and hits one over the fence. Anyway, Yeah, do you guys want to talk about anything else around the league? Tyler O'Neill, by the way, I forgot to mention this while we were talking about the Orioles. Tyler O'Neill looks like he's coming back to play in this Atlanta series this weekend. It looks like he's coming back to the team tomorrow. We've yet to see if he's going to be in the lineup. I know Orioles fans kind of have mixed opinions on O'Neill because he strikes out a lot, but we kind of knew that when we were signing him. Obviously, he got off to the crazy hot start on opening day, going like 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 or whatever it happened. You guys have any thoughts on O'Neill and how that maybe shifts the outfield rotation going forward? Do you think that means less Carlson? Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you got to keep Laureano in the lineup. He's been white hot, and Gary in the lineup. So that's going to be tough. Getting all those bats in the lineup, getting them all at bats. So I think that's going to shift the team a little bit.
I mean, he could come back and add a nice little spark if he comes out of the gate like he did beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see. It's hard to say.
Notoriously streaky guy, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna be. I mean, similar to Santander. I mean, that's literally was a little bit of a comp. It just hits lefties better.
Yeah. Carlson down, Beavers up, sit Cedric, Cowser in center field, Beavers to right, Laureano to left, Set is your fourth. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, Big Town. So O'Neill's just not playing in this situation. I don't know what's going on there. Also, I know there's a lot of Cedric Mullins trade talk as he's coming into a contract year here, or he is in a contract year here. Too. So I think the Orioles are probably going to be trying to show him off as much as possible. O'Neill never sees the field, DH only. Yeah.
I can see that.
I can see that.
That's got to be Gary Sanchez, though.
I know exactly. Like Gary's got to be in the lineup, and he can't be behind the plate.
But he's not going to be. But he's not going to be DH in every game. He's going to split time behind the plate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Pigtown, you took the words out of my mouth. I had over under 11.5 games before O'Neill goes back on the IL.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but that's his MO. It's MO. I mean, look at the track record throughout his time.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Stop that. Oh man.
Well, speaking of injuries, we got to talk about big news as well.
You cut out. So what?
The other big injury that happened. He was on a rehab assignment. Jorge Mateo.
What happened?
He was down rehabbing his arm and ended up tweaking his hamstring. He's going to be out 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even down there for his hamstring and ended up tweaking it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Look, Mateo brings a lot in terms of utility. In the defensive situations and the base running situations, his bat leaves a lot to be desired. So obviously wishing him the speediest recovery, but I don't think that's going to be the world's biggest detriment to the Orioles team. And obviously we have bigger problems, bigger fish to fry, so to speak, than Mateo being 8 to 12.
But bodies. Bodies.
We do need bodies. You're right. But it looks like we're going to have too many again. Ramon's not going to be able to get in the lineup. Frickin' Carlson's not going to be able to get in the lineup. He's been pretty hot for us over the course of the last couple.
Ramon is not coming out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Huh? Ramon's not coming out of the lineup.
Either one of them.
Where's he going to play?
Who? Which one?
Urias. If Gary's going to be DHing, if Ramon Laureano is going to be DHing, if O'Neill's going to be DHing, who the hell is where's he going to play?
He's probably going to end up DHing, or they're going to let Westy DH. They're probably going to let Westy DH quite a bit too, which is going to be an issue. But with the way his hand is,
Laura, we did this last year. It didn't work. Clearly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And again, trades change everything too. Yeah. Like if O'Hearn gets traded, then Urias is going to play first, probably.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
that's true.
No, Mayo will stay at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when Mounty comes back, what do you do with him? Is he going to be another trade piece? Setty's probably going to be a guy that you can think about trading. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, I think, like we said on last
when is he due back? I thought he was after the deadline due back.
Who's
Mounty?
Mountcastle?
Yeah. He's on the 60-day, but he just started taking swings, I think. But Yeah, I think he's going to be closer to the deadline, if not afterwards.
Are there weird rules with transactions when you're on the IL? Can you not get traded, or is it like a weird stipulation where you have to? Is there some sort of thing that needs to happen, or is it just like a normal trade? Anybody know the answer to that?
I don't know.
I think we talked about this last year, but nobody's going to trade for a guy that's on the IL, I don't think.
Mounty claims he's going to be able to come back 2 weeks early, about 2 weeks before the deadline. Yeah, we say that, but also like, you know,
that's in a week.
Is the team confident? Yeah, that's like a week or two from now, 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean,
no one's going to trade for a guy who just came off the DL as well.
Yeah. And even if he's in a contract year, you just don't know what you're going to get. I don't know. I think it's a little frustrating. Obviously, the whole season has been a little bit frustrating, but you know, we'll see how the roster shakes out. And like we said on last podcast, you know, if we don't go on a huge run here before the deadline, it's going to be quite a lot of these last year guys who are in the last year of the contract are probably going to be moved. And I know that's frustrating to a lot of Orioles fans who thought we were going to be competing this year, but the bottom line is the record's not good enough at this point in the season to compete in the second half to buy.
No, but if you could go get some solid, like, I mean, nobody's going to give up an acer or two or anything like that, but if you can go get some solid pitching for some of these guys, setting up for next year with guys that we have coming back off the IL, you could set yourself up pretty good for next year. And I know Sandy Alcantara is not pitching well right now for Miami, but his stock has never been lower. If you want to go get him for cheap, now would be the time.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Cubs buzz for him because the Cubs have been really good and they need some starting pitching. I definitely think he gets moved at the deadline. By the way, the Marlins won 8 or 9 straight at this point.
I know.
Good for the Marlins.
I think they just lost yesterday, I think, but they were the hottest team in baseball.
This is a great point, Laura. I completely forgot about this. You can trade for guys on the DL. Ask the Dodgers how Tommy Edman trade worked out. Yeah, he was a huge part of that World Series run that they made last year. Utility guy, shortstop, got traded from the Cardinals to them, played for the Cardinals forever. But yeah, here's a conversation before we do our draft. Here's a conversation I wanted to have. Just real quick, I was having with my buddy Nick. There's been some Felix Bautista trade buzz. Are you guys in on that, out on that? Where would you like? What kind of return would you have to see for you to be okay with us moving Felix Bautista with this many years of control still left?
Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, it's a good question. Again, I think it's got to be prospects. It's probably your second or third best prospect on a team.
Yeah.
Because he's so slow to the plate. If a guy gets on, we saw it the other game, they're getting the third right away. In 2 pitches, they got to third base and then hit a pop-up and the game's tied. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, his stuff's nasty, but when his control's not there, it's a liability. Mm-hmm. So he's
he's there.
He's not the guy he was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and you can't expect him to be the first year off the injury, right?
Right.
I mean, I think he's pitching. I think he's pitching relatively well. I mean, minus some command stuff at times, but he's the kind of guy he doesn't care. He's very confident that he's just going to strike you out or get out of it, which I like. But like Drew said, if his command's not there or if he just doesn't have his stuff, that's basically kind of game over. But yeah, I'm on board with trading him for anything, to be honest with you. I think there's plenty of people that we have kind of coming through the farm right now that could come up and possibly be a closer. Or we can shuffle some guys around into that closer role. I don't know. I know it's a huge position. It's a really important position, but I think we could figure it out.
On that topic too, that guy we have in the futures game, I've never even heard of him. Do you guys know anything about that guy?
I didn't even know we had a guy in the futures game.
We got two. We got Bradfield and then some reliever I've never heard of, and he's 27 or 28.
Really?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. So I can't even remember his name, but I saw that. Who the hell is that?
Gibson or something? I forget who it is. I forget his name either. I don't really know a ton about him, but I mean, Big Town knows a little bit better than us, I think. But like we got some hard throwers down in the minors right now that could be working their way up.
Start their clock.
Could be working their way through. So I'm more for a Felix trade. I don't know what we need to return for him to feel comfortable. It doesn't even need to be I mean, again, if we can go get somebody's number, if somebody needs a closer, like, and their starting pitching is pretty shored up. I mean, would you do Felix for Sandy Alcantara?
Yes.
In a heartbeat, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I don't think, but they're not going to go for. But yeah, they're probably not going to go for a closer. They want some prospects that are going to get on the field.
Yeah. I'm thinking more in the line of like the Phillies or like a team like that's competing that really needs a back end guy. Like if the Phillies wanted to give us Mick Abel, for example, he's like a 23-year-old guy. He actually kind of got shelled by the Padres yesterday. I watched most of that game on MLB Network. But he's 23 years old. He's got top end of the rotation kind of stuff. I think if you get that kind of player back, I think it's a no-brainer. You pull the trigger.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a smaller return,
they need bullpen
I don't think you do it. Yeah, exactly.
They need bullpen help for the playoff run too.
And they need outfield help, and you could throw Cedric Mullins in there, sweeten the deal a little bit. You have a lot of options there, and obviously the pipeline's open with the Phillies. I've talked about this a couple times on the pod, but the pipeline's open with the Phillies with the Austin Hayes trade last year, with the Soto and the Dominguez trades last year. They've had some talks, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Anyway, Drew, do you have enough time to do this draft right now, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, I'll be all right. Let's knock it out. The guy was Keegan Gillies, by the way. Have you ever heard of Keegan Gillies?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sounds like Gilly McKeeves.
Yeah.
Okay. So, by the way, guys, the draft this week is going to be, or the draft today, special edition is going to be 90s all-time team. And we're going to start. We're going to let Drew go first. Who wants to go second? You guys want to go clockwise around?
We got to give the clock. You're only using the statistics from the 90s.
Correct. Yes. So if Barry Bonds wins 4 MVPs in the 2000s, you don't get those MVPs. Although I think Barry Bonds will likely go very high in this draft. I just qualifying that. Also, we are doing
a position too.
We are doing positions. I think outfield, we just leave kind of just 3 outfielders and don't do positions in the outfield. Is that okay with you guys?
That's fine.
Just because it can get a little weird. And we're going to do 1 starter and 1 relief pitcher each. Just so you guys and a DH. Yeah. So if you have any guys on your team or any guys you really want on your team that you weren't able to draft at their position, you could put anybody at DH. They don't have to be a primary DH. But obviously a manager. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you guys brought it up at the end on Tuesday. We were doing a manager as well.
I have totally forgotten about that, and I did not prepare for it, but it's okay. Once again, Drew is our guest. He's going to be doing the number 1 overall pick. Who do we want to go number 2? Do you guys want to, like I said, do you want to just do clockwise?
Why don't we let Drew pick who goes 2nd, 3rd, and 4th?
Okay, that's cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we'll go clockwise.
Okay, so it's going to be Drew, Brian, Brooks, Dusty, and then we'll snake back. So I'll get 2 picks, and then we'll snake back to Drew. He'll get 2 picks, and so on and so forth. This is going to be interesting.
Down, or do we got to keep track?
I have it. I'm going to be writing it down. Right. I have a thing here, and I will share it to the socials and everything afterwards, so that everybody can see and vote on who do they think has the best team. And there's going to be some interesting stuff here because there's a couple of positions where there's not very many guys. So it's going to be interesting how you draft. You can take any position at any time. So, Drew, who is the 1-1, the best player of the 90s or the best value of the 90s? You go.
I gotta go Griffey.
All right. Ken Griffey Jr. I can't blame you there. Definitely one of the best outfielders in the history of baseball. Yeah. Both offensively and defensively. And he is going to be playing the outfield, hopefully center field, I would think.
I'm playing this draft smart, and it's not the second overall pick, like the second best player of the 90s, but because of the lack of talent at that position during the 90s, I'm going to take Roberto Alomar at second base.
Oh, all right. That's an interesting one. I thought you were
That's
going
good. I could not think of second baseman. That was my biggest. Yeah.
So I'm just taking Roberto Alomar so I can get it out of the way. I don't need to worry about it the rest of the draft.
Not the world's best guy, turns out, but great baseball player nonetheless.
Correct.
Anyway,
take me out of need. I'm taking Alomar first.
Got it. All right, I'm happy with this because I got wheels turning now. Brooks, who is the number 3 overall pick here?
No brainer, Barry.
Okay. If you guys didn't hear him, he said Barry Bonds. Probably the best person that's ever touched a bat.
Best available.
Yeah. Barry Bonds won 3 MVPs in the 90s and then followed that up with 4 straight to start the 2000s. I'd say, even if you count the pre-steroid era, obviously, just a legendary figure and a guy I had on my wall all over the place growing up. Because of the same reason Brian took Robbie Alomar, I am going to go positional scarcity here and take Mike Piazza at catcher. He is far and away the best catcher, I would say. There's another guy that you could take for sure. But as far as the stats go, hitting wise, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a better catcher at the plate. Maybe Mauer. But yeah, I'm going to take Mike Piazza.
Kyle Raleigh keeps us up.
Yeah.
Big Dumper keeps us up, man. He might.
The big thumper or the big dumper?
Big Dumper.
Oh, it's Dumper. Don't even bring Thumper into my realm. It's always going to be Big Dumper.
He needs to have a toilet paper sponsorship by the end of the season. Has to.
And I think I'm probably gonna go. I think I'm probably gonna go shortstop with my next pick because I don't think there's a ton of really, really great ones. I know there's a couple. There are 3 really good ones. Maybe I won't go there. All right, I'm gonna go just positional value again. I'm gonna take Craig Biggio at second base. I'm just gonna get the 2 hardest positions out of the way in the first round and get Piazza and Biggio, and we'll come back to it next time. I think those are the good players left. Yeah. All right, Brooks, you're back to you.
Give me the big hurt, Frank Thomas.
At first base, I would imagine Frank Thomas is going to be.
I can interchange. Yeah, probably. I could put him at DH.
If you need to put him at DH, but I mean,
we'll see where we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put anybody at DH, so I think you're going to put him at first, I would think.
All righty, I'm going to go positional scarcity again, based on, and once again, I have so many other great options on the board, but I'm going to take Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate, like Dusty did. Just get these 2 out of the way. Now I can go for.
Now you can draft. Yeah. And now we start.
Now it starts for me, at least.
All right, Drew, you get 2 in a row here. Who do you want?
All right. I am going to go Chipper Jones.
That's a great pick. I think the clear-cut best third baseman of the 90s, in my opinion. Chipper Jones.
I think I got to go McGuire, best available.
There you go.
McGuire, Big Mac, 405 homers in the 90s, by the way. Just in the 90s.
Just in the 90s.
Just in the 90s.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That guy hit some homers. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Can someone look up Scott Rowland's? Can someone look up Scott Rowland's numbers in the 90s? I hope I don't waste it.
That's got to be pretty good.
I have him on my cheat sheet, so I think it was mostly 90s.
Yeah.
You got another one, Drew?
No,
I had Chipper and Big Mac.
Chipper and Big Mac.
Oh, yeah.
So we're back to Brian.
All right, I'm going to go positional scarcity again. I'm gonna wait on the third baseman. I'm going to go Todd Helton at first base.
Positional scarcity at first base. There's so many good first basemen. Todd Helton is an excellent answer. I don't care what the positional scarcity is there. Todd Helton was so fucking good.
Yeah. Man, this is tough.
This is really
All right.
the scarcity at certain.
Give me give me Pudge.
Pudge has already been taken.
Gone, baby. Gone.
Gone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the catching gets a little scary after that.
Very. Greg Zaun's on the board, though. If you want Greg Zaun,
so is Chris Orioles.
Chris,
I think at shortstop for the 90s, give me Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
Great call.
That's who I was going to take with the shortstop, but I looked down the board a little bit and realized there's a couple other answers.
There's a couple, yeah.
So I don't blame you there. All right, that means I get 2 in a row here. I'm going to get my third baseman. I'm going to keep my third baseman for now. Because I think the top guy is already gone, and I don't think there's a clear cut number 2 there. Yeah. I am gonna take. I mean, I'm just gonna play the home team card and take Cal Ripken at shortstop.
Cool.
Just as he played every game in the 90s. Did you know that?
For sure.
He played in all the games.
You don't say.
Yeah, that was something he was pretty good at. Was playing a lot of games.
The best ability is availability.
Yeah, it's 100% true. And then I think I got to get an outfielder at this point. So I'm gonna take. You know what? I'm gonna take this person just for Brian Rogers, my counterpart.
I knew you were gonna do it.
I'm taking Tony Gwynn, and I'm putting him in the outfield. I'm gonna take Tony Gwynn. I can't believe he fell this far, honestly. And he's probably gonna be my leadoff guy.
Damn it!
All right.
Did you take?
Back to you. I took Tony Gwynn.
Oh shit. All right, for catch, I gotta get catcher out of the way because there's nobody. Give me Sandy Alomar Jr.
Sandy Alomar Jr. going.
Give me Sandy
way before some other guys that I thought were going to be drafted before him. 2 Alomars. Look at them. Look at the Alomar family showing up. Sandy Alomar Jr. Not who I expected, but a good pick. Good catcher. Brian, we're back to you.
All right. Shortstop. I'm going. Can't believe I'm taking this. I don't like the dude. Going A-Rod.
Yeah. It's tough not to take him. Obviously, he didn't play in the entirety of the 1990s because he was a little bit younger.
What he did play was awesome.
But what he did in the 90s was just outrageous. And what he did is throughout the entirety of his career.
He was 95 to, I think he came in 95 or 94.
Yeah, and I honestly still don't blame you for the pick. People are going to look at our lists and say that A-Rod had is a better player than Cal Ripken Jr. He clearly is one of the best 10 players that's ever graced a baseball field, in my opinion. Obviously people have their opinions on him, but if you look at the decade as a whole, it's going to be different. But yeah, I think that's a great pick. Drew, we're back to you for 2.
I'm going to go Albert Bell.
Yep. Albert Bell. He's outfield, correct?
Yep.
Albert Bell is playing in the outfield. What an insane human being that guy was. And is probably.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then for the second one, I'm going to go. This guy was the best at his position. It might be a little high, but I'm going to go Mo.
I thought about jumping on him early too. I think he's clearly the best reliever of the 90s by a mile. I think that's a good pick. I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
Alrighty. I got to take an outfielder here at some point or another. I got to go Vlad Guerrero.
Vlad Guerrero.
Vladdy Daddy.
All right, Vladdy Daddy. How much of the 90s did he see? I know he was doing expo stuff.
I think it was a good chunk.
Yeah. Vladimir Guerrero Sr. And it looks like Brooks is dead.
He died.
So I don't really know what we do here. So what do we do now? Do we auto draft? Do we just give him Greg Maddux? I don't know.
Give him a kicker.
Yeah, give him a kicker. All right. Hell yeah. If at any point if Brooks drops out of this, we agree from now on we're just gonna give him Juan Gonzalez because that's his name.
Yeah, right. Good.
Oh, there he is.
Brooks, it is your turn. Vladimir Guerrero Sr. has been taken, Albert Bell has been taken, and Mariano Rivera has been taken.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me.
You need 2 outfielders, a second, a third baseman, and pitchers and DH.
Give me Jeff Kent.
Jeff Kent at second base, I presume. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Not a lot of depth at second base in general. So, yeah, I don't blame you there at all either. Which means I'm back again. I'm back. And I'm going to take 2 guys here. Big Mac is gone and the Big Hurt is gone. But you know who's not gone is Jeff Bagwell at first base. And I'm going to be taking him. That guy was a complete stud. There's another really good first baseman in there. So maybe that wasn't a smart pick. Who knows? I'll tell you what, not a lot of really good third basemen in the 90s. Just looking through the list here of the guys who had longer careers, I could get a little cute here, but I don't think I'm gonna. And this is not a sexy name at all, but I'm gonna take him because his numbers in the 90s are awesome. 300 homers, 41.2 WAR. Give me Matt Williams, former shortstop and third baseman, but played a lot of his career at third base. Once again, not a sexy pick, but just just taking the value there. Yeah. We're back to Brian.
I've got to go third base to get this out of the way. I got to go Wade Boggs.
Yeah. Wade Boggs definitely played most of his baseball in the earlier part, but
wait, hold on, it's my turn. What are you doing?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's Brian.
Oh yeah, it's Brooks'.
Oh shit, you're right.
It was Brooks' turn.
Sorry.
My bad.
Take Wade Boggs. Take Wade Boggs.
I'm taking Wade Boggs.
That's what you get for batting out of order, dude. You get
I was told it was my turn. I wasn't looking. Damn it.
Yeah.
Dusty set him up.
Yeah. All right, Wade Boggs. Brooks's infield is complete, and he's got 2 outfielders, a DH, and his pitchers and manager remaining.
Now
Brian, you need a third baseman and a couple outfielders. Drew, you need a catcher, a second baseman, a shortstop, and an outfielder. You got a lot of stuff to go on. But yeah, you'll feel it. You'll figure it out. 2 outfielder spots, a third baseman spot. Nobody's taken a starting pitcher yet, by the way.
Okay, I'm going. Going Robin Ventura at third base. Robin Ventura,
great third baseman in the 90s. Look at the stats. Don't
knows how to get his ass whipped.
Don't think about him getting bitched out by Nolan Ryan.
He knows how to get his ass whipped.
But catcher scarcity. I love it. Robbie Nutt calling or coming in commenting on the show. Anyway, Drew, you are back and you get 2 in a row here.
Yeah, in honor of Robbie Nutt, I'll go catcher. And we haven't gone Mike Piazza yet, have we?
No, I took him already. I took him with my first pick. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to go Chris Orioles then.
Chris Hoyles gets taken in the draft. Let's go. And all the catchers have been filled. Nobody has love for former Oriole great Javi Lopez, by the way. Had a pretty good 90s, by the way. Just throwing that out there. No. But anyway, Drew, you get a second baseman, shortstop, outfielder, DH, starting pitcher left, and manager.
I'm going to go shortstop and go Nomar.
Okay. All right.
I like it.
Good.
Nomar.
I like it.
Nomar.
Alrighty. I'm going to be the first one to take a starting pitcher. That way I can get my pick of the litter here. And I'm going to go Greg Maddux.
Yeah, I would have guessed I would have bet any amount of money that you would have taken Greg Maddux after you said pitcher. Big Greg Maddux fan. Maddux autocorrects to Madden. Did you know that? Didn't know that till now. Brooks, you got to take some outfielders, a DH, starting pitcher, relief pitcher, manager. Who you got?
I'm going to go ahead and take Larry Walker.
Larry Walker has lasted way too long on this board. That guy was an absolute animal in the 90s. I was going to take him if you didn't. Great pick. A little bit frustrating for me. So frustrating. So frustrating.
You sit there and drink your Zimas and light beer.
All right. I am gonna. Well, I've already got the slap hitter in the outfield, so to speak. So I don't want to take that guy. Give me the guy who's 1998 and 1999. He had 120 home runs and 300 RBIs. Give me Sammy Sosa in the outfield.
I like it.
Ridiculous numbers. Just ridiculous numbers. And for a pitcher, give me the Rocket, Roger Clemens. Just so consistent and so good. I'm gonna take the pitcher now. Get it out of the way. So my two picks are Sammy Sosa and Roger Clemens, who definitely got all of their vitamins and nutrients.
Jesus,
Brooks, you are on the clock.
But I'm taking a starting pitcher as well. Probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite pitchers of all time, Pedro Martinez.
Pedro is a great answer. Spent a lot of the 90s in Montreal, but got to the Red Sox in the late 90s, I believe. What a stud that guy was. Brian, you're back.
What do I need? I mean, I'm going the best DH on the board. I'm going the best DH on the board, period, and it is Edgar Martinez. I'm taking him as true DH because I think it's cool.
I love it. I think that's a great pick. I think he's a very valuable person in your lineup, I would say. After this, by the way, we can put the lineups together. I know Drew has a call or whatever, but we can put the lineups together and put them together so people can see them and see how the team looks like on paper, actually, which I think will be cool. Drew, you need a second baseman, an outfielder, a starting pitcher, and a DH. You get two picks here, and you need a manager. I assume the manager's going to go last. Who do you need?
Yeah.
I'm going to save the pitcher because my one is still on the board. Did we go Manny Ramirez yet?
No.
I'm going Manny.
Manny, are you put him at DH or in the outfield?
I'm going to put him at DH unless we're playing at Fenway. Do I get to pick the stadium?
That's well done, sir. That's a great comment.
That's great. All right, so you still have an outfielder, a second baseman, and a starting pitcher left.
I'm going to add some speed, and we'll go Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, baby.
Ricky Henderson in the outfield. I love it.
Great call, man.
Yeah,
Great
call. R.I.P.
Don't turn around.
Yeah. I'm gonna go outfielder here, and I'm gonna go Gary Sheffield.
Wow, underrated, really underrated. I completely forgot about him, honestly. Gary Sheffield. Wow. That means I get two in a row here, right? Brooks gets one, and then I get two in a row.
Why?
Sorry,
you need to calm it down.
Oh, sorry.
Since it's my name, I'll go Juan Gonzalez in the outfield.
You gonna go what?
Juan Gonzalez in the outfield.
Fuck yeah, I love Juan Gonzalez. That guy got all of his vitamins and minerals too. And he's a stud. Your outfield consists of Barry Bonds, Larry Walker, and Juan Gonzalez. I would say that's a pretty good outfield. I would happily take that as a manager.
Yeah, very good.
I need one more outfield spot. I need a relief pitcher. I don't want to take. I mean, I can't take fucking Tim Salmon. Give me Kenny Lofton in the outfield. Fuck it. That guy was super underrated. Absolute stud. I know I already have Tony Gwynn. Kenny Lofton's hitting probably ninth, but my team's a little weird. I've got a lackluster power lineup. Maybe I'll make up for it at the DH spot here. Give me Raffy at the DH, Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah. Great call.
I think that's a good all-around bat to have, and I still got a relief pitcher and a manager to take, but I think I got some options. So I'm going to take Rafael Palmeiro and Kenny Lofton. Brooks, you got a relief pitcher, DH manager.
Oh, shit. Do I have a DH?
No. Take whoever you want. I mean, you can put Frank Thomas at DH, take a first baseman, but it doesn't matter. You could literally take anybody and put him at DH.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Palmeiro already went. Edgar's already gone. You know what? Give me Fred McGriff.
Crime dog.
Oh, I love that answer. The crime dog, Fred McGriff. That's a great answer. And another guy I forgot about. 493 career home runs. He had to be kicking himself. He couldn't get those last 7. All right. So, Brian, you're back up, and you need a outfielder, a relief pitcher, and a manager.
I am going to go with the outfielder that is usually forgotten. I'm going to go Mr. Kirby Puckett.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Kirby Puckett, former Minnesota Twins great. Relief pitcher. Sorry. You're not picking again. I'm stupid. Drew, you need – what do you need? You need a second baseman, a starting pitcher, and a manager.
All right. Second baseman – he's my guy because I got his disease, Chuck Knobloch.
Oh, my God. You're taking Chuck Knobloch? I don't even know how to spell Chuck Knobloch. No.
I mean, he's decent hitter.
It's spelled GARYSANCHEZ. Oh, Gary Sanchez.
Chuck Knobloch. Yeah, that's a name. What a stud that guy was before he got the
before he got the Knoblochs,
the old Y words. Yeah.
And I'm going all offense here. I'm going to shift Manny into the outfield, and I'm taking Mo Vaughn.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
You
got your outfield is in. Wait, hold on. You can't shift Manny to the outfield. You don't have any outfield spots left.
Manny was my DH.
Manny was your DH, but you have 3 outfielders already. You can't take Mo Vaughn.
That's
you need a starting pitcher and a manager. Mo Vaughn's off the. Yeah, Mo Vaughn is still on the board, by the way.
All right, I'll take Randy Johnson, a pitcher.
Randy Johnson lasted way too long on this list.
He was my number 1 guy on the board, but you guys took pitchers already.
Well, look, Randy Johnson is a great 90s pitcher, but he won 4 straight Cy Youngs starting in 2001, I believe. 2000 or
I'll still take him.
Yeah, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, something like that. So most of his dominance was in the early 2000s, but still, I don't think it's a bad pick. Brian, you are back. You need a relief pitcher and a manager.
Relief pitchers are a dime a dozen. There's a bunch still on the board, so I'm going to take the top manager on the list, and I'm going to go Bobby Cox.
I think that's true. I think that's the correct answer. I can't argue with you there. Brooksy, you need a relief pitcher and a manager as well.
I'm going to go with my relief pitcher. Give me Trevor Hoffman.
Good call.
Yeah, Trevor Hoffman. I don't think that's a bad answer at all. I don't think you really have a lot of options after Mo.
Yeah, there you go.
You have some, but not.
It's a couple Hall of Famers still.
Yeah, I think there's one more good one, and then it's just
a really good one.
Well, I don't know who it is. Could you tell me?
No, we can't tell you
because it's not John Wetland, is it?
No,
it's not John Walker. Yeah, I'm not sure.
If you want him to be.
Slocum's on the board. You have Heathcliff Slocum right there.
I could take Heathcliff Slocum. That's true. I probably won't. But I could. All right. I guess give me Billy Wagner. I know he did a lot of this.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And then I get a manager as well. Yeah, I guess there's a couple other guys that we didn't even.
Yeah.
Do I want to go boring or do I? I mean, give me Joe Torre, I guess. Joe Torre managing this squad, and that's my last pick. Joe Torre, also a Baseball Hall of Famer as a player, I believe.
Yes, he was.
Cincinnati Reds third baseman and catcher. All right. Brooks, you are back.
Yeah, you keep skipping Brooks.
I know. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
You need a manager.
All right, who did you take, Dusty?
I took Joe Torre and I took Billy Wagner.
Damn it. That's what I was going to take. It was Joe Torre. But go ahead and give me Jim Leland.
Jim Leland. Wow. Okay.
I
think there's a couple other guys that I would have thought would take it, but good for Jim Leland.
No, I just love him smoking heaters in the dugout.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still one of the best silhouette shirts I've ever seen in my entire life. We were at spring training for Chris Merrick's bachelor party, and they had the silhouette of his face, and it was Jim Leland ripping a heater. Great.
Love that. Jim Leland coached the Barry Bonds Pirates for a long time.
Yes, he did.
All right, Brian, you get a relief pitcher, and then Drew gets a manager, and then we're done with the draft, guys.
I'm going John Franco.
John Franco, the crafty lefty.
I think he wore the same T-shirt underneath his jersey for the duration of the 80s and 90s.
John Franco. Good for him for getting a shout out here. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, who's your manager?
I'm going Mike Hargrove.
Wow.
Great call.
A short list of 90s managers I remember.
Luke Piniella and Tony La Russa are pissed.
I was thinking La Russa too.
Nobody took them.
So, all right, I got to run, boys.
Hey, buddy. You good, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Good, man.
All right.
Jack McKeon.
Drew is out.
Heck, McKeon.
How do we – oh, sorry. I got to kick him out of the studio. There we go. We're back to our normal format here. Joe Torre was taken, Jason Moore, by me. If you missed that, I'm sorry. Joe Torre was taken. Anyway, I will read off the final rosters, and then we will go over.
That's what's going to be mine.
We'll go over some some honorable mentions. So my lineup, and this is just by position. We're not going to we're going to put the lineups together and see who has the best one. But my lineup is Mike Piazza at catcher, Jeff Bagwell at first, Craig Biggio at second. I got that Houston Astros love there. Matt Williams is playing third. Cal Ripken is at short. Yeah. The outfield consists of Sammy Sosa, Tony Gwynn, and Kenny Lofton. My DH is Rafael Palmeiro. My starting pitcher is the Rocket, Roger Clemens. And my closer, relief pitcher, whatever, is Billy Wagner, managed by Joe Torre. Brooks's lineup, Sandy Alomar Jr. behind the dish. Frank Thomas, the big hurt Frank Thomas, we'll put him at DH and put Fred McGriff at first because Frank Thomas was, quite frankly, a defensive liability at first. Second base, we'll put Jeff Kent. Wade Boggs at third, Barry Larkin at short, Barry Bonds, Larry Walker, and Juan Gonzalez in the outfield. Starting pitcher, Pedro Martinez, Trevor Hoffman coming in to clean up, and Jim Leland is the sheriff of that squad. Brian, Pudge Rodriguez at catcher, Todd Helton at first, Roberto Alomar at second, Robin Ventura at third, A-Rod at short, Kirby Puckett, Gary Sheffield, and Vlad Sr. in the outfield. Greg Maddux is starting. John Franco's cleaning it up. Edgar Martinez is the DH, and Bobby Cox is the skipper of that squad. And then for Drew, we have Chris Hoyles, Chris Hoyles behind the dish. Mark McGuire at first. Chuck Knobloch at second base. Chipper as at third. Nomar is at short, and his outfield is ridiculous. Ken Griffey Jr., Ricky Henderson, Albert Bell. Starting pitcher for him is Randy Johnson. Closing would be the best closer of all time by a country mile, Mariano Rivera. Manny's at DH, and Mike Hargrove is the skipper of that squad. Those are the teams. Who did we miss?
Andrew Jones, I think. Andrew Jones should have been picked somewhere.
Yeah. Andrew Jones definitely could have been picked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton.
Yeah, there's a ton of guys. I thought the big cat Andres Galarraga was going to get a DH nod. That guy was a stud.
Moises Alou could have been
Bobby
there.
Bonilla, Kevin Brown, Dennis Eckersley, Kurt Schilling.
Charles Johnson played catcher. I don't know if he was more in the 2000s, but I know he had a good run like 96, 97, 98, 99.
Yeah.
Jose Rijo for the Reds. Apparently really good in the 90s. Don't remember that name.
Uguet Urbina, I remember was a stud back then. Yeah.
Oogie or
at least Lee Smith. I don't know how much he actually played in the 90s.
He was
Or if
more
he was
80s.
more 80s.
Yeah, he was more 80s oriented.
That's why I was a little apprehensive to take him.
Yeah.
No John Olerud for the first baseman. No Paul O'Neill either. Those guys could have been in there.
Bernie
for sure.
Williams.
Bernie Williams is a big.
Yeah.
That was the guy I was going to take if Kirby Puckett went.
Yeah.
No Jeter either. I mean, I know he was 94 was his first
95,
year.
I think was his rookie year. I think 95 was his rookie.
But he won how many World Series in the late 90s, early 2000s? I guess early 2000s don't count. But Mo Vaughn was attempted to be taken, but didn't end up getting taken. The 1995 MLB, American League MVP was not taken. Nor was Dante Bichette, who had a negative WAR 1 year with like 40 homers because he was so bad in the outfield. So unbelievable.
Unbelievable to think.
I think we hit most of the heavy hitters, right?
There's
some starting pitchers we could have like David Cohn didn't get a mention.
Kevin Brown.
That guy was, Kevin Brown. John Wetland got a mention but didn't get taken, obviously. Tom Henke for the Blue Jays. I think he was a pretty good pitcher.
Jeff Nelson was a stud back then.
Couldn't tell you I've ever heard that name in my life.
He was a reliever for the Yankees for a while. Joe Carter.
Carter, World Series hero of the 90s. But that's our 90s draft. Vlad Sr. did get taken. Yes, Steve. Vlad Sr. did get taken by Brian in his outfield. I don't know if he's playing right or if Sheffield's playing right, but it doesn't matter. We went positionless in the outfield for a reason. But honestly, all of these look like pretty
good call. Jason right here. Scott Brocious.
Scott Brocious? No way, dude.
That's awesome. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Scott Brocious.
Was Terry Pendleton a big 90s guy or no?
I don't know. I think Mickey Tettleton was a good catcher in the 90s.
Yeah. Alan Trammell maybe in the 90s?
I think he's 80s.
80s.
Rob Nen.
Rob Nen.
Yeah. San Francisco Giant, former Marlin.
I think Rod Beck was more of the 80s, I think.
I was going to say Rob Dibble for the Reds. Remember him? Rob Dibble. I mean, this is just dude's name and baseball players at this point, which this podcast turns into every now and then. Dennis Eckersley is a great answer. Jim Tomei. Oh no, that's a huge miss. That's a massive miss. That's a massive miss.
But he was
a third baseman. We could have taken him at third.
He
could have at one point.
Third baseman.
Maybe for like a year.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh no!
God, they played third.
Wow, if I had him instead of Matt Williams at third, I'd be killing it.
Ozzie Smith was definitely more 80s.
Yeah, he's a little bit earlier. Omar Vizquel, nobody took the defense. I don't blame you. Omar Vizquel doesn't look great in the lineup, although he was a good average hitter.
Yeah, for sure.
Other guys, I can't really think of any other guys we missed. I'm sure there are more. There are plenty, obviously. Really, really great players that we missed. Cliff Floyd. Anyway, that was our MLB 90s all-time draft. Once again, we're going to do this next week with the 2000s, which is going to get fun because there's going to be some repeat guys. There's going to be some new guys. There might be some guys that are still playing or have just recently retired, which is crazy to think. Miguel Cabrera, I believe.
Right there. I mean, look at that. Miguel Cabrera.
Really cool thing. Really cool thing to see like who certain guys played against. Sometimes like if you had like a 25-year career, you could have played against like Roger Maris and then like Albert Bell or something like that. Really weird stuff happens there in baseball. But anyway, that's our draft. Do you guys have anything else you want to get going with on this pod, or you want to finish up? I got one more beer.
I got one thing I want to talk about. It's something that I brought up on the chat the other day. It has to do with the stadiums you were talking about. We talked about like the Browns getting $600 million, and we thought that it might be them getting a new hat on top of their current stadium. What it came down to is what we found out after reading the full article is they're actually moving this new stadium out to the suburbs, like a $2.8 billion stadium or some bullshit like that. And there was a guy on one of the sports shows talking about how stadiums now are becoming very obsolete based on what they were when they were built. Like, you know, and he used Camden Yards as a like almost as like a marker about how Camden Yards is a great stadium. It's a phenomenal stadium. It's very nostalgic. It's got great looks. But now all these teams want to move their stuff out to the suburbs because owners have now found that it's easier for them to make money, their money, not money that gets divvied up between the other teams and owners, from making like putting it out in the suburbs and making a casino around it, or putting a shopping mall or whatever, restaurants, businesses. They can make money off all that stuff. They want to make it basically an entertainment center around their stadium. Something that I never really thought about, and I didn't realize that this was a major trend moving forward. It looks like Brooks is texting us now saying he's done for the day.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, if you look at just what's going on in Baltimore sports right now, right? Look, Bisciotti started doing this. The Ravens announced this was the last year or 2 years ago that they were going to make big upgrades around the stadium and do that kind of thing. Rubenstein, when he bought the Orioles, said he basically wanted to build an area around Camden Yards that was sort of like this. Do you see this? You think this is going to take place in basically most major cities that have at least multiple sports teams, or you think it's going to be more of like you think it's going to be like like if you have all the four major sports, they're going to do this in that area, or do you think the smaller cities will start doing it as well?
No, I think it's an evolution of what's going to happen in the major cities. You're not going to be able to have it happen in Green Bay.
Yeah,
right? You can't. It's in a neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, there's people with like front yards and garages right across from the stadium in Green Bay. So
I think this is the evolution. Owners always look to find a way to make another dollar, right? And that's what's always occurred. No matter if they're upping ticket prices or concession prices or making more luxury suites or whatever the hell it may be to make more money. This is a new evolution. You're going to put a casino next to it. That's what Dallas did when Mark Cuban sold his majority stake of the Mavericks to the casino owners that he sold it to. I can't remember what casino it is.
Still, I'm not so weird. To this day, I think that's like the weirdest thing that's ever happened.
He said, I'm not a real estate guy, and these people know how to do real estate, and I don't want to be part of that. That's fine. So he's going to still get his cut of all the real estate shit they do around the Dallas Mavericks, facility. And that's and the guy that talked on Dan Patrick's show, that's give courtesy where it's on Dan Patrick's show, he said they're using the Atlanta Braves model of when they moved the stadium from downtown Atlanta to East Cobb County. That's the burbs. And they put a bunch of shit around it. And I actually watched this happen when we went to the last one. Friend of mine went to the last game in Arlington, Texas, for the last game in the ballpark in Arlington, and they were building the bones of Globe Life Field, or whatever the hell it's called, were being built. You could see they were also building like restaurants around it, basically making a big box around it. So they had like a Dave and Buster's next to it and stuff like that, and then they can get that money and take it. So it was just very interesting. Something it made me think outside the box a little bit. So.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, the only thing the biggest thing I took away from that was still like, I just think it's such a weird thing that Cuban sold the Mavericks and then came out to the media and said, I'm still going to be here and I'm going to have a lot of control and everything. And then they trade Luka a year later and he's just like, I had nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? I just think he's just like I don't know. I feel like he has, people talk about buyer's remorse a lot. I feel like he has a little bit of seller's remorse. Sure. But you're right. I think the development around the stadiums is probably a thing that's coming, and it's going to take a little while. Obviously, these kind of things take years to build. It depends on how much money is going into it and how much of the funding is coming from taxpayers and whole list of logistical issues that need to be ironed out.
And there's some fan anger about these things too. I mean, I have a buddy who I call Cleveland Pat, and he is pissed that it's getting moved out. His stadium's getting moved out of Cleveland. He doesn't like it. And wherever they're going to propose to move the stadium, it's like, it's a shithole. No one wants to go there.
Yeah.
But that just stinks. It really sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, and look, what Rubenstein, however you say it, did, they're going to begin to build out Harbor Place around, because Harbor Place is a shell of what it used to be. In fact, it might just be a shell in general. And they're absolutely going to redo Harbor Place so that down there, that downtown area right there along the water, can now be money that Rubenstein can profit from.
Yep. I'm going to the ATL Baltimore game on Sunday. Brave Stadium is great. Excellent setup around the Battery. That's awesome. I wanted to go to the new Brave Stadium since it was built. I have gone. I did go to Turner Field. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, I went to the old one. They built multiple new stadiums in my lifetime, so it's always jumbled in my head because I think there was like one called like SunTrust or Sun Life or something like that. Anyway. That's awesome. Good for you, man. I remember the last time we played Atlanta, and we were in a lot better in Atlanta, and we were in a lot better place in the standings, and that was 2 years ago. And I think we won the first one and lost the last two, but they were all close games. Good for you once again. Look, just have fun watching Ronald Acuna play baseball, especially the way he's playing right now. That's going to be really awesome to watch.
Crazy awesome.
Laura, I want to say, don't forget I think she meant pump, but she said pimp. Don't forget to pimp the ice cream contest. Yeah, Catonsville Scoops, July 5th, Saturday. John and Molly Ryman are my dear friends from college. They own that place, and they will be hosting an ice cream contest on July 5th. Both my friends Steve and Luke will be participating in that ice cream contest. Go sign up if you're in the area. Go ahead and participate or go watch. Once again, July 4th weekend in Catonsville is must-see TV. If you haven't gone before, you got to go see it. There's lawn chairs just straight up and down all the roads in Catonsville. It's a big party, and it's a lot of fun. So go on ahead over there. Yeah,
if I didn't have to work, I would definitely be there for sure. Yeah, SunTrust Churros Park. Yeah.
Okay. Businesses are moving out of Baltimore for a reason. Fix that downtown area. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I live in Ocean City now, so I don't see it as much as I used to. So I mean, Brian could speak to that a little bit more than I can, but I think we're all pretty much in agreement there that it's been struggle in the last couple of years.
It's not just garbage; it's hot garbage downtown. I mean, it is bad. But that being said, if Rubenstein can do something with it, that'd be awesome.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That's insane.
Another thing, just activities around town this weekend. We got a pig, Wilbur. He's gutted. He's currently down in the walk-in cooler. He's 224 pounds. He'll be getting smoked starting today at 7 p.m. through the duration of the day tomorrow. And we'll be cutting him up. He'll be tasty eats. So if you're around town, we do cafeteria style. $10, make your own plate. Got all the fixings.
Hell yeah. And who's smoking that hog?
That'd be Mr. Delaware David.
Mr. Delaware Dave. Oh, man. Seaford's finest, Delaware Dave Powell. Yep. We'll be smoking that pig. Yeah, you guys should.
Come down. It's $10. And look, you don't even have to go to the register for $10. We'll have a bucket out there. And look, if you try to make a plate and you don't give us $10, that's a you problem, not an us problem. All right. You need that money more than we do. Okay. But we have pulled pork, 2 different kinds of barbecue sauces, North Carolina style vinegar based, and then one like Memphis style or whatever, like thick one. And then we got potato salad. We got pickled poblanos, coleslaw, beans. It'd be a good time, man.
Pickled poblanos. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love poblano peppers. Poor Wilbur. Yeah. Sorry, Laura. Yeah,
Wilbur ain't happy right now.
Wilbur doesn't feel emotions anymore.
No,
sorry, that was a little bit dark there.
This is our third year doing it. We had Babe the first year, then we had Charlotte the next year. Now we have Wilbur this year.
Oh my God, dude! You need to stop naming the food.
But it's gonna be awesome. Starting at noon tomorrow down here at Pig and Rooster, and then other than that. Shout out to the Dive again. I went and got my hot dog roller yesterday from Mr. Peter Ennie.
Have they been using it since you left it there? I would have used it 100%.
I don't know if he's used it or not, but it's definitely cleaned when I got it. And it wasn't clean when I left it there or when we left it there. But that being said, I walk in to get it, and it's not too often a man walks into a place and leaves with a hot dog roller. Just going to throw it out there and didn't order anything. Yeah. But when I walked in, I'm not kidding you. This is awesome. This is why I love the Dive. This is why I love this town. Is like I walk in and someone goes, "We were just talking about you." Like one of the guys behind the bar named Kevin. He's a great guy. He goes, "We're just talking about you." I'm like, "Good things or bad things?" He goes, we're talking about your podcast and how you guys were awesome and how everyone's talked about it since you guys were here. So it was really fun, and I'm glad it's getting some traction, not just for us, but the dive's also getting traction. It's awesome. Supporting local businesses is great. Like the ice cream joint up in Catonsville.
Yeah.
If I wasn't working, Dusty, I would 100% be up there.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to work a lot this week. Obviously, being in Ocean City for July 4th is going to be a quite hectic week. It's supposed to be 80 and sunny every day from here till Tuesday. So if you're coming to Ocean City, come see me. I'll be at Cabanas on 2nd Street bartending tonight and tonight, tomorrow night, and all day on Saturday, 9 a.m. to close, baby. I'm off Sunday, and I don't know if I'm going to draw a blind in my house, let alone leave. So we'll see.
And Dusty, if you want to, when I'm coming down the beach on the 13th or the 15th, and I think that's a Sunday through a Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we're leaving Tuesday night. So if you want, maybe we can get together and do the podcast together if you want to do that. Absolutely, wherever we want to do it.
Yeah, let's do it. We can do it here.
Yeah, fine. Cool.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I know normally on Thursdays we do call-ins. We're probably not going to do that today. Brooks is on the road. We've had a little bit of we got a big weekend ahead of us. I certainly have a big weekend ahead of me. Brian's wearing this shirt. I don't think he can do it. But anyway, next week
the neck hole of this shirt is so large. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Next week we'll be back to doing call-ins, and we'll be back. And once again, next week, look out for the 2000s baseball draft. I think you're going to see some names that you saw today. You're going to see some new names.
Yep.
I'm going to see some names at different positions. A-Rod's no longer a shortstop in 2000s, guys. I mean, he's got some positional versatility. So we'll have some arguments about that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to us ramble every week. And we love you so much. And I've had 4 beers and I feel excellent. I'm going to go watch the John Deere Classic until work.
Good for you. And by the way, Joey Chestnut's back in the hot dog eating contest. We do.
Oh, man. Did you see the odds on this, by the way? The field is the field is plus 2,500 to win. 25 to 1 for the field.
Man, I can't go against Joey Chestnut.
He's like minus 4,000 to win the tournament. I mean, he's going to eat 7,000 hot dogs.
He's going to eat 70. What's his like record? Like 76 or 67 or something?
I think his record is 75 in 10 minutes.
Good God.
Because it used to be 12 minutes and they brought it down to 10. And I remember he ate almost the exact same amount of hot dogs like as he had eaten in 12 minutes, like the year after. Like he did some work, obviously.
Good Lord, man.
Joey Chestnut, known Indiana resident, lives roughly 10, 15 minutes away from Brooks and sees him all the time. But anyway, go Joey Chestnut. Go America. Happy 4th of July weekend, y'all. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fireworks. Enjoy your family. Enjoy whatever barbecue you're going to. And if you're coming down to OC, come see me. And, we love you. And we appreciate you. And thank you once again for joining.
See you guys on Tuesday.
It's a band of idiots. And we will end this stream, as we always do, with love. Outros are weird.